Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what is socially acceptable in the US? That would be horrifying in the UK. When my Brit friends were visiting, they were horrified when the waiter took their credit card to swipe back at the terminal. This made them really uncomfortable. I would be uncomfortable too. I'm from Canada and they usually hand us the machine so that we can pay ourselves. German here, same for us. You never give your credit card to anyone else. If you do and someone steals from you, the bank/insurance might actually refuse to pay anything back to you. Yeah, and then bring you the receipt to sign it. I'm in Europe and I haven't signed a credit card receipt in over a decade. Even my neighborhood farmer who does rounds in his van delivering produce to the neighbors carries a handheld card reader, and since the pandemic almost all of them are contactless. Unlock your phone, put it close to the reader, done, paid. Saying someone has a lot of spunk. My late cat's name was Spunky. Named her when I was 4 and thought I had made the word up entirely. In the US it was a cute and accurate name for a cat. When I moved to England I just referred to her as Cat. The full name is Catthew. What does spunk mean in the UK? Where I'm from we've always used it to mean high energy. Someone has spunk aka they have lots of pep and energy. LMAO, never mind, I got the answer, thank you. There was a line in The Last Jedi where Snoke says to Rey, "You've got a lot of spunk," in the midst of a big serious confrontation scene, and I just couldn't stop myself laughing in the theater. I heard The Last Airbender movie, among its many other crimes, caused issues like this in the UK with such lines as "He looks like a bender from the North Sea." Naming your child Randy. Edit. British people wait, people don't really name their child Randy, do they? Americans, what's wrong with Randy? I'm Irish, but my dad works for an American company and their CEO's name is Randy Horn. We got a good laugh out of that one. Studied psychology A-level and learned about a well-known sleep study by Randy Gardner. No one in the class kept a straight face. There's an American comic book artist named Randy Queen. The first time he went to London for a comic book convention, he discovered his hotel had cancelled his reservation because they thought it was a prank caller. Allegedly, Scottish comic book writer Grant Morrison choked on their drink when they were introduced. Randy Giles. Why not just call me Horny Giles or Desperate for a Shag Giles? I knew there was a reason I hated you. Coming from the perspective of a British guy, your style of customer service. Not universally, but very commonly, it's way too over the top for us. Nobody here can be fucked with that. USA service with smile. UK service with shrug. France service with a sneer. In Germany you have to apologize to salespeople for bothering them in the store. I lived in the UK for 3 months and this is surprisingly accurate. Every customer service type person I interacted with seemed like they could hardly be bothered. American cashiers be like, "OMG, hi, how are you today?" British cashiers be like, "Hey, you're right." Heuriged is a legitimate word that appears in your standard issue British dictionary, given out only to natives. It's a way of saying I am going to use your reply to completely rebuild my tone and demeanor to best suit this conversation. But then you have to know how to respond. I wish it was so over the top. I'm so sick of being an ass kisser to rude customers. Yeah, I've worked in customer service for a few years and can't count the amount of times where I've said some form the phrase "cut it," or "you're not getting served" with full support from co-workers and managers. If I couldn't do that, I couldn't do customer service. When someone says, "make yourself at home," actually making yourself at home. Wait, no one actually does that, right? People just sit on the couch and maybe grab a cushion. That's all. Right. My husband's friend came over one time, uninvited, and immediately used my kitchen sink to give his dog, also uninvited, a bath. If you are close friends or family, it's very literal in the US, at least here in the Northeast. No one does anything rude like put their feet up on a couch or table, but for the most part, it indicates a wide set of permissions. Usually, it's courteous to ask for the first few things to establish boundaries, but once you clear, let's say a drink, most people will just grab the second for themselves, and typically this is okay. I have a cousin I'm close to and I've still never seen the upstairs floor of her house. I laughed so hard at your comment. Here in northern Germany it's quite similar. LMAO. I'm American and I still can't do this. I found a middle ground where I'll just ask for whatever I want without fear of being rude. So do you mind if I grab another soda? I'll refill the pretzel bowl if that's okay with you. It's kind if overly pushy were it might be rude, except they wanted you to relax, so I think it toes the line enough. I don't know how common it actually is there, but going fucking wild at the cinema during a hugely popular film like Avengers, Endgame or a Star Wars film. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube of the audience reactions to various big franchise films, and I don't know how anybody lasts more than a few minutes in that room. When I saw The Force Awakens, like 2 people half-heartedly cheered when the title screen came up and then someone immediately told them to shut the fuck up. We follow extreme librarian rules here. Shut the fuck up, or you're getting a doy. Oh, I get self-conscious just rustling the bag of popcorn when watching the movie. I can feel everyone getting pissed off at me in the dark. You deserve to feel that shame, I tutted at you, silently mind you. A rubber in England is not the same as a rubber in the US. What is a rubber in England? An eraser. I was in Japan once and there was a vending machine selling beer outside my hotel room. So, being British, I bought a can and went to the elevator, where I shared an excruciating couple of minutes with 2 American businessmen. They were horrified at my early day drinking, and I at their willingness to express this. I was in Japan once and there was a vending machine selling beer outside my hotel room. This is already a massive culture shock to Americans in the first place. Just the fact there are vending machines everywhere was a culture shock to me. Walking down a street in Osaka and there must have been a vending machine every 100 feet. I once heard a story of an American company buying a German one. When they looked at productivity, they decided to remove lunch beers. The move resulted in lower morale, less productivity. So they had to bring it back. Not sure if true or not. I've worked in Bavaria, beers in the works canteen are real. Making tea in a microwave. Wow, Americans have walk-in microwaves. Yeah, it's called Florida. They what? They own kettles. True abject horror. Edit, ITT Americans telling me they do own a kettle. Anything taking over an hour to get to being a short trip. I live in Texas, recently made a day trip, 2.5 there 2.5 back that night. That's pretty normal here. Yep, Californian too. There's a lot of great stuff 3 to 4 hours away from me. It's far easier to day trip to them all vs trying to find lodging. There's an insane amount of Americans that have an hour or more as their daily commute. I have one that's the other way around. A girlfriend did that hands over the eyes surprise thing and presented me with a little Christmas tree decorated with candy cane. I said, oh, a dinky little Christmas tree. In America dinky means worthless. In the UK it means small and cute. She cried. I had called my mother to back me up on the misunderstanding. Over here saying something is quite good means it's not bad. In the US it's closer to very good. I had a student from the UK say that a chart I made for a lecture was brilliant. It was a compliment, but if he had been American, it would have been a much bigger compliment. Especially in an academic context. Dinky has a negative connotation for sure in the US. Never thought about it that way. I wouldn't say worthless, but definitely the negative version of no wait, tiny can be negative too. Though could go either way. As a Brit in the US, this is a fun one. Pharmaceutical adverts on the TV are still weird after me. The length and frequency of commercial breaks in general on TV is shocking. Low-hanging fruit, but anything relating to child beauty pageants just makes me feel physically sick. Here's a nice one, taking 20+ minutes to help a complete stranger who is struggling with something. The amount of times a total stranger has stopped to assist me or someone I know. Y'all really make my heart melt. I just edit because this blew up. 21 to drink alcohol, insane, and Americans' relationship with booze in general. Y'all seem to never ever drink ever, only ever have one glass of wine /1 beer, routinely get absolutely fucked, and there is no middle ground. I've never met so many people who straight up never drink booze as I have here. Anything relating to child beauty pageants. I don't know any Americans who aren't horrified by these either. Either you're horrified by them or you're involved with them. There is no middle ground. American hospitality really is something special, I tell you. I remember my first visit in America. Low on gas at a random unstaffed station. When me and my friend were about to pay, we noticed our European credit cards didn't work and we didn't have enough cash either. A couple of minutes later this dude shows up and he asks us if we are having trouble paying. We said yeah, we don't have enough cash and our cards don't work. He just asked us how much we were short for and gave us the remaining amount. Chatting casually at the lift. Saying elevator instead of lift. The fact that the second floor in the US is the first floor in the UK. Really confusing the first time I went in an elevator in the UK. Going 5 miles per hour over the speed limit on the right lane. Unless you can claim diplomatic immunity and flee the country.